Hey y'all, welcome back. Today I'm gonna turn this rough mahogany lumber into a bird cage for my daughter. I do have one problem though, well actually two. I don't have a joiner or a planer. So I'm gonna show you how to use a table saw as a joiner slash planer and even a molder. I even test out the brake on my SawStop table saw. It's gonna be action packed. Stick around. Whew. Might need to lay off the caffeine a little bit. Anywho, our original plan for this build was to find an old decorative armoire on Facebook Marketplace and use that for the build. But we couldn't find any of those. So what we did eventually find was this old, I don't know what this is, a hallway table I guess you'd call it. We're gonna start off with this as the base and then we're gonna build the custom top for Riley to use as the bird cage. And I'm gonna use some old mahogany that I had left over from when I had my cabinet shop. I've got to be very careful because I think I have just enough of this lumber to complete this project and just enough of each thickness that I have to complete the pieces that I need. So without further ado, let's hope I don't blow this. Now I've got these 4 pieces cut out and what they are actually going to make are the 4 corners for what will be the bird cage. Now the front 2 I just have to notch out that 3/4 inch piece and then the back 2 I need to notch out a 1/4 inch piece for the back. All right. Are you ready to do some cutting?
Yarp.
Yarp, all right, and everything up to this point has been kind of rough cut. You're gonna start doing some precise measurements and cutting. Are you prepared to do such?
Yes, Father.
All right, and let's go. Okay, go a little bit slower next time. You don't have to race through it.
My little thumb, it don't work.
Your little tiny thumb. Just happened to have just picked up this doweling jig set off of Amazon. So that's what we're going to use to assemble it. And picked up these dowel pins. To make sure that we get this laid out right and don't get something flipped over and mess up a piece of wood that I don't have enough wood to replace, we're gonna lay these out and we're gonna mark each side. So we're gonna start off with the left side, and this is the back piece, and this is the front piece. So I've got one cabinet clamp here. Cabinet clamps work good because they pull straight in as opposed to most clamps, which can kind of make stuff bow up. I've got one. I need to go get 3 more from the place we do not speak of.
The shed.
The shed. There they are, back there behind everything. Oh, check it out. Yeah. There's 2, 3. Oh. We're gonna put some glue on the piece of wood there, and we'll put some down in the hole.
I can.
There's one side down, we're gonna glue up the other side, let these dry overnight, and then we're gonna take them out of the clamps and finish putting the frame together. Something I did right here yesterday after we glued it up was I just mixed up some of the sawdust that was left over from this mahogany with glue to make a wood filler. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and sand that off real quick with some 120 on the orbital sander. I may not have mentioned it before, but this is not a fine piece of furniture we're going for here. I just want it to look as good as this distressed piece that it's gonna sit on top of and work really well. So to attach the stringers to the front and back, because you're not really gonna be able to see the back of those, I'm just gonna use pocket hole screws to attach them. That way it's fast and strong. Now, okay, so get it in there and line it up and then squeeze the trigger. Yep. All right, now this clamp right here will keep everything flush. There you go. Okay.
You scare me every time you do it.
Oh my, oh, okay, you got it. Let's see what it looks like. Hey, garage door opener. I think that is going to be just lovely, Riley. What do you think?
Nice.
You like it?
Yarp.
Let's measure for the doors. So I'll figure this out, but okay. 35 and a half overall width. And we'll probably take 3/16 off of that. 36.5 wide. And we'll figure out what we're gonna do up here. Some type of crown or something. I might cut some cove on the saw. I might get crazy, you never know. This right here, this section is going to be a drawer. It's gonna be a pull-out drawer. And that is for the, how shall we say, defecation.
Cage changing.
Cage changing?
Yep.
I like the word defecation.
That works too.
Okay, that's more fun to say. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Defecation. There's not a straight piece of wood there. Ooh, wow, that is crazy. If I cut in sections, I might put the track saw on here and you know what I mean? That can happen. Hey kids, today on using tools for things they're not intended for, we're going to use this table saw as a planer slash joiner. By putting the bow towards the blade, I can take off high spots, as you'll see as I pass this through. And then by flipping it and making just minor movements in order to dimension this lumber, because I need to get it down to where it's just about 1 inch thick, and right now it's about 1.25 inches thick. I'm just passing it and then flipping it over, cutting half of the height at a time. But also by making small movements with the fence and bringing it closer and closer to the blade, I can shave off the high points on these boards and straighten them out at the same time. You can see by flipping it through the saw that as I pass it through with this side to the blade, it's taking off the center because this board started off with a bow like that. And then when I flip it over, it does the opposite, because this is now, the bow is towards the fence and these are towards the blade. And you can see how they're getting shaved off and the center just barely got touched. Well, by doing this numerous times, you'll eventually end up with a straight board if you've got enough board to start with. All the door stiles and rails have been cut to length. And remember earlier when I said this is not fine furniture we're building? Remember when I said that? Remember when I said this is not fine furniture we're building? Well, let me remind you of that, because I'm not going to use cope and stick to put these door frames together. I'm just going to use the doweling pins again, just to save time. I thought I was being efficient with my time. I took one of these drawers down to our local paint shop, had them match it for me, and I also picked up some stain to match the dark mahogany on these distress parts. Thought, hey, we're ready to go. We'll paint the back of the cage part with this blue paint, and then we'll go ahead and stain the mahogany with this dark stain. But then, as Riley reminded me,
We can't have any VOCs.
so after much online research last night, I went back to the paint store and picked up this paint, which is a no VOC latex paint. And I'd say they did a pretty good job of the paint match. Oh, and I also ordered a no VOC stain, but hopefully that'll be here tomorrow because I overnighted that. Riley's painting the back of the bird cage. I've got the drawer bottom here, and this is the clean out drawer that catches all the bird doo-doo. And I'm gonna line it with this aluminum flashing that I picked up at the hardware store. Now, to attach this, everything keeps getting very complicated on here because I keep going back to just my standard way of thinking, and that says I'll use contact cement to attach this to the drawer bottom. But I can't do that because contact cement puts out lots of fumes and those could kill the birds. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try some of this Tight Bond 2. I've read where you can actually, it'll work on metal, maybe not all that well, but this is just very thin sheeting. I know you can buy some low VOC glues that are specifically made for stuff like this, but in the words of the immortal Jerry Reed, I've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, so I'm gonna do what they say can't be done. For the actual wire for the bird cage, I special ordered this stainless steel welded wire. Explain to our friends at home why we are using stainless steel.
Stainless steel is the safest option because zinc and other materials can be harmful if the bird bites the cage wire or ingests anything.
And so stainless steel is the safest bet.
Yep.
Easy to clean.
Yep.
Okay. While those things are drying, we can go ahead and take our door frames out of the clamps. Riley, you want to grab that other one? There you go, babe. Is it too tight? Is it too tight for you?
Is it too tight for you?
No, it's not too tight for me. But I can tell you, the dude who clamped these things down, he must be a beast. I did the initial sanding on the doors, then I routed the recess on the back of them, and now we are ready to measure for the welded wire. See how this fits in here. So, shall we place a wager on whether this thing like flings open when I cut this or not, or?
No.
I'm kind of a little bit hesitant. I want this stuff to lay flat, but I also don't want it to fling out. Here, cut it right here. Cut it right there. Now you gotta cut it at the seam, you goofy goob. Okay. No, it will not fling out. I mean, I know that I can just follow down this line, but I don't want to have a brain fart and break it. There you go, good job. To keep the door shut, I'm gonna try to not use a latch, and I'm gonna use these neodymium magnets, and I'm gonna recess these into the back of each one of the doors, one at the top and bottom, and put a matching one on a cleat on the inside of the door frame. Interesting fact, kids, you know when you go in an antique store, or when you go to your grandma's house and it has that funky smell, you know what that funky smell is? It's mahogany. I'd like to put some type of crown molding or cove molding on top of this, but I don't have any in the mahogany. So prepare to be dismayed, delighted, or even disgusted, because I'm gonna make this cove molding on the table saw. In order to do it, I'm gonna need a jig. Not that kind of jig, idiot. This kind of jig. It's very easy to run cove molding on a table saw. All you have to do is make a quick jig like this. This took me about 10 minutes to make. And you know, you can even offend an entire nation in the process of doing so if you like. When you're doing this, you have to make several passes, and you just take a little bit at a time. Otherwise, you'll just overpower the saw, and it's just not gonna work. Now with the jig off, I'm gonna set the blade up at a 45 so that I can make these cuts right here. I just heard the UPS man leave from out front, and I think I know what he left, so let me go see. It is, ta-da! It's our Ecos paints. And of course, these aren't actually paint. These are the stains that I got, which are no VOC, no odor, non-toxic, made in the USA. Now that I've got all the cove molding sanded, I'm gonna attach it using a pin nailer. So I'm using the Ecos Craft Stain because it's got finish and stain all in one, and it'll be a huge time saver. No. You ever start a project confident in its simplicity and the short amount of time it will take you to complete it, and then found out you were totally wrong? This is that project for me. I thought I'd be just assembling this thing today, and now I'm finding out I built the drawer wrong. But I'm not rebuilding that whole thing. That's a fact, because I don't want to have to redo that whole bottom. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm just gonna figure out what to do back here. I've got to cut that much.
A few moments later.
So this story just keeps getting better, folks. I you know, you can cut aluminum on a saw. So I was like, okay, I'll just run this over to the table saw and I'll cut this. And as I began the process, if you will, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't give it any thought. And as soon as the blade hit right there, bam! Jerked back down because I just tested out my saw stop. And there you have it. So that would have made some excellent footage had I actually been rolling when it happened, but I thought, oh, I'll just do this real quick, much like this project. And you can see here what happens. This is what it's supposed to do if your finger touches the blade. This brake shoots up from underneath and they become one. Unfortunately, the saw stop will not work without a brake cartridge in it, and I don't have a spare brake cartridge. So I don't have a saw, probably for 3 days or so. I figured out a workaround. I actually used the bypass switch this time, so I just put a 7 1/4 inch circular saw blade on here because I had a dado blade brake, which of course fits an 8 inch dado blade, so I couldn't use a 10 inch blade. But anyway, it's all very complicated, but bottom line is I've got it to work in a pinch for me until my new brake comes in. To attach the screen into the doors, I've cut this stop material, and then I'm gonna attach it using, this is a framer's point gun. It shoots these little framing points, and it's used for picture framing. But it works great for stuff like this, or to hold mirrors into a door frame. And we're just gonna put down the stop on top of the screen and then shoot the brad point, or the framing point, I should say, in behind that. Hinge goes perfectly lined up. Sweet! Oh, don't pull on that. Don't pull on the screen, Riley. We're gonna need some type of hammer. Okay, yeah. So these neodymium magnets they're doing their thing. We did a pretty good job. Give me some, wait, some of that. Okay, some of this. Can you lift this thing? Kind of heavy.
Yep. Ta-da!
Our bird cage is complete, or should I say Riley's bird cage. Where are your birds at? Okay, ZB seems happy with it. Riley, are you happy with it? Okay. Everybody's happy with it. The other parakeet wants to know what this parakeet's doing, and Kim's trying to figure out if she can fit a chicken in here. We'll see you next time.